Welcome back to Daytime. Well, you know what? It's a perfect day for a game of golf, and I think within the region as a whole, we can say more and more people are golf crazy, particularly after having had the LPGA event in this region earlier in the summer. Connie Deckert joins us. She's 4U Enterprises and all about golf. And am I right, Connie? And I think it was that huge event, and kudos to everybody that was on the committee for the LPGA event that happened at Grey Silo earlier in the summer. There's something about holding an event like that in the area with that type of prestige that all of a sudden makes more and more people more interested in the game of golf.
Absolutely. To have the best women golfers in the world here was very exciting. I'm very proud to be a part of the teaching division at the LPGA, and to have the tour people here was just a dream come true. Canada has the highest participation rate for golf in the world per capita. Yeah.
I wonder why that is, because you'd think our weather, when our summers are so short here, it doesn't necessarily lend itself naturally to golf. Maybe we're dreamers.
Well, we live through the TV all winter, but we're out there playing, and we also have the highest percentage of left-handers per capita.
You're kidding, and you're a left-hander,
yes.
Right?
We stand on the right side of the ball.
So when it comes to golf and the basics, and you mentioned you're a teacher,
yes,
and an excellent teacher, and giving people the basics. I know you have a number of different classes and courses that you hold. For somebody who's just starting out in the game of golf, how do you really introduce them to it?
Well, when somebody comes to me and if they're interested in the game, one of the first, of course, you check with them to make sure there's no physical problems as to flexibility and stuff. But the next question I ask them is, have you participated in any sports in your life? Because if you have, you can bring it over to golf, and the movement, some of the movements are similar.
So in my case, because I guess my sport of choice would be curling.
Yes.
How do you sort of relate that then to the game of golf?
So when you curl, and what's the name of that thing you slide out of?
The hack.
Okay, when you come out of the hack, you go from one foot to the other foot, correct?
Right.
You do the same thing in golf.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't remember that from your lessons?
And in some strange way, there is a big correlation, because so many professional curlers are also golfers in the summertime and do that. So there seems to be some sort of correlation in there, doesn't it?
And concentration is part of sport. So if you're concentrating in one sport, you're going to use concentration powers in another sport.
I think we have this myth in our heads that with golf, it's about the power. We see those swings, and even in the women, watching the women that were at Grey Silo swinging, it looks powerful. But I know one of the things I'm learning from you, slowly but surely, it's not so much the power, it's the actual swing itself that makes it look powerful.
Golf is deceptive. Like if you see somebody do shot put or hammer throw or something, you see all the muscles bulging. Golf is balance and flow. The torso coils to produce the power and then releases it. Upper body's passive, the lower body releases the power, which is hard for us because we're hand and arm people, and we think everything should be done up here, right?
So literally it's coming from the legs, the lower part of the body is where that power is coming from?
As you coil the leg farther from the target, you coil against it. That's your ground zero, and then you release towards the target. We can do that if you want to try.
Well, I was going to say, you actually do something fascinating. It's talking about improving your game without using clubs. So even before we get to the clubs, which you've brought along with you today, we're going to stand and you're going to show me what you mean by that and working on our game. Okay.
Ready to go?
So here we go.
Okay, so we have the ball.
A ball, okay.
So your golf stance, your feet are usually shoulder width.
Okay, so I need to be a little wider then.
Yeah.
And usually I wouldn't be in heels either.
No,
today,
that'd be a little tough in your ankles. So soft knees.
Okay.
Just that they're bent. You're going to bow forward from the pelvis.
Okay.
Okay, a little farther.
A little farther.
Okay. So now you're going to turn to the right, because I know you're a right-handed golfer.
I am.
But you're going to keep your head still, and you're going to rotate your shoulders to the right like they were.
So should I have my arms out straight?
Extend your
I'm going to
arms.
extend my arms.
Just turn to the right.
So just the arms to the right?
Let your whole
and
body
the body
go.
Okay.
So this leg doesn't move.
Okay.
So now, to start the downswing, you need to turn both knees towards me. Keep your head still.
Oh, I'm moving my head, I'm moving my arms.
There you go.
Keeping my head.
So you end up in balance on your left foot. So in effect, you go from right side to left side. But you do not expend any energy with your upper body. The upper body's passive. You coil against your right leg, then let your left leg release the power towards the target.
So
beautiful.
It would be
there you go.
Swing like that. And you can really feel that, the difference in your legs when you're doing that.
There's no, you don't feel the brawn move like you would if you were hitting a hammer or something like that. It's the torso coils and uncoils. Your downswing is approximately 4 times faster than your backswing.
Really?
Your backswing is what we call preparation, because you want to get the club in the best position you can. If anybody was out at Grey Silo watching the tournament, you saw that the backswings were very deliberate. Because you're trying to put the body in the best position you possibly can.
So this is the positioning.
Yep, you want to have the back
to the
target.
Time.
And then next thing you want to do is have the belt to the target.
And this would be the faster movement through, except I move my head again.
That's right.
I would be looking at the ball.
Well, hopefully, until that shoulder hit your chin.
Until I got to about here, at which point I'm hoping the ball is over there someplace.
That's right.
Well, that's perfect. People can contact you and find out more about lessons and getting more into the game of golf. And actually, I think if I had a golf ball this size, my game would be much better. Much better. Okay, we're just going to do a little bit more practicing. We'll be back with more Daytime in just a moment, so stay with us. Here we go.